Hello everyone, it's Crime Blue Jay here, and we are back with another video. Today we are playing Cemetery Mary, a horror visual novel game, that is, I believe, based in the same world as the previous series we did on the channel called Crow Scare. So I'm really excited to get into this game because Crow Scare was such a good game. It had different endings and all of that. If you want to go ahead and check that out, please go ahead and look at that. But yeah, we are starting Cemetery Mary. This is gonna be a pretty long series from what I could tell. Because like there are three different endings, and in order to get like each ending, it's like 1 to 2 hours per route. So like a good and bad route, and then there's a true ending which adds even more to the game. So this is gonna be a real fun game. So yes, let's jump into it. So this game contains themes and depictions of the following: stalking, kidnapping, strong language, melodramas, alcohol, smoking, blood, murder, suicide, flashing images, and potentially loud noises. Discussion is advised. Click to continue. Okay, so you've been warned, and as always, I will be posting like in the title of the game. I'll put like read description if the game has any sensitive content while I'm playing. Okay, so yeah, let's get into this. I've never been to a funeral that I didn't enjoy. That was until very recently, and I wasn't quite sure how to feel. It was a beautiful service, and one they certainly deserved. If only it had come later in their lifetime, maybe it could have been prevented. If there was a murder, I say, that's what everyone's been saying anyways. The Blackwood Butcher. That's what they called him, at least. It was hard not to overhear the rumors people said about them. I heard they strike at night. I heard they only target one person at a time and don't stop until they're dead. I heard it's a ghost, blindly seeking revenge. I didn't believe in any of that. At least not at first, but my parents did. Because of that, they didn't like me going off to the cemetery alone, staying until it closed, working all by myself in the dark. Even though it was only across the street, these rumors had made them afraid for my safety. Do you really believe they're real? I asked my father. I do, he answered. You really worried about me? My mother did not say anything, but that is to be expected. They thought I was the perfect target, but I still didn't believe in it. Still, they worried about me, so they sent me off to live with my aunt, uncle, and cousin. They didn't live far, at least not anymore. They moved from their fancy home in gorgeous Halensay to a small old cabin in the woods. I never understood why, but I never really asked about it either. Parents thought I would be safer with them. I didn't want to leave, but every day I saved only seemed to stress them out more. So I went, to make them feel better. For the first few weeks, everything was fine. I barely left the house, barely went to town anymore, and when I did, I always with someone. Taking all precautions to avoid becoming a victim of the butcher. But I still thought it was only a rumor. Even if the number of deaths on community increased, I never thought that I or someone I knew would be a victim. Then, that thing happened. Those two. For the first time, I was worried. Shortly after that, my own parents disappeared. They weren't in the dinner, nor could I contact them. Even the authorities couldn't figure out. No one had seen them. It was like as if they suddenly vanished, as if they were killed off. I didn't like to think about that possibility. Actually, well, there was also that other thing that's happened. Maybe I should have told the authorities about it, or anyone for that matter, but I was too afraid of what might happen if I did. I knew I would fall asleep if I sat down. Is it raining outside? It wasn't supposed to rain today. The lights on outside. Is Proven out there? I better go check. Okay, so in this game there are choices, and these choices will impact what happens in the story. So, so let's see. We have why you do not use rain. You're out here. There's onto Norfolk. But when I finish there inside. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take this one. I can see that it's rain, Mary. Okay. Wait, Mary, how many times do I have to tell you? They went to hell. Spaghetti, I used your favorite sauce too. Okay, I'll be inside in a second. Just let me put this out. Thanks, Raylan, he was able to have a cigarette. Wait, huh. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to go out, but okay. All the food is cold. I just wanted to make a scene in the living room, but it's fine. I'm not complaining. Other than that, we didn't say much. The dinner was quiet. I cleaned up most of it, but Groven helped a little bit. After that, he went to go sit in the living room. Once I finished cleaning the kitchen up, I joined him like usual. Normally after dinner, when Groven and I sit there together, we do something fun. We play a game on our phones together, or we get out a board game, or we play cards. Talk about our days if something exciting happened. But that's when our uncle was still. Groven's been in a pretty bad mood since. Oh! Okay, so I think I understand who the two she was talking about is. Her aunt and uncle, I guess, died. Um, after her parents did. So that's interesting since people she knew. It's not as if I could blame him. I want to talk to him, but I didn't really know if he's much in the mood to talk. What should I do? Okay, so should I attempt the conversation or go to bed? Attempt. Crow, do you want to talk about it? There's nothing to talk about. I still got my old therapist's number, you know. Croven? Ain't there a reason she was your old one? I know. She was good at this kind of stuff. And I've been thinking that maybe. Shut up, Mary. Just shut up already. Can't I be better over it? Why are you trying so hard to rush me into therapy, huh? Thought you knew about this shit better than anyone. But here you are. I'm not even gonna stop being upset just because you miss me being all happy smiling and shit. You just stop trying to fucking talk to me about it. I'll get over it whenever I get over it. You can keep your own life and you'll stop worrying so much over mine. Sorry. I think I ended up making Cloven more agitated trying to talk to him. Oh well. After a few more moments of awkward sitting, I went upstairs and headed to my bedroom. I don't want to make Cloven angrier than I had already. I brushed my teeth and got changed into my pajamas. I stretched out on what you consider my bed. The room I have in the cabin is nice. It's not like my room back in my actual home, but I've stayed here so long I've been able to decorate a little bit more to my liking. It's a pleasant room to stay in, even though it's not quite home. Of course, I don't normally sleep right away. I usually read a book or watch a movie on my laptop or lie awake thinking of every embarrassing thing that's happened in my life. But as of recent, I've picked up a different nighttime ritual, one that's nowhere near as pleasant. A text message I have received the days following my parents' disappearance. It was from a number I didn't recognize. Your parents are safe, it had said. I know I should have done something smart. I should have told somebody. But instead, I texted the number back, and they responded to me. I've noticed that other than the first message, they usually don't reach out to me. It's me who keeps texting them, hoping to find out what's happening behind all this. Are you still awake? I'm awake whenever you want to talk. Oh my god, it's a crow. It's a crow. Okay, um, my parents still alive? Yes. I'm keeping a careful eye on them. How can I be sure you even have them? What if you're just trying to prank me? Why would I do that? Because I'm hoping it's a prank. I'm sorry, it isn't a prank. I can promise that it's all real. How did you even get my number? Your parents gave it to me. Why would they do that? Because they care about you. You must be lying to me. My parents would do something like that. I'm sorry, you don't know your parents as well as you think you do. What does that even mean? Seriously, you freak me out. I want my parents back. Please don't try this out. I just want them back home. You should get some rest. It's late, isn't it? I'll talk to you tomorrow. I don't like to touch for too long. Until then, goodbye. Goodbye. They suggested that I get some rest, but how do they expect me to do that? I had never felt more restless in my life. Even asleep, I knew I wouldn't rest. When I woke up the next morning, Corbin had already left for the day. But that wasn't a surprise. He'd been staying out late and leaving super early ever since the incident. I think being home bothers him. I'm not surprised. Whenever I pass the door, I too feel like not being there. It's not the same without mom and dad after all. Despite this cabin being out in the middle of the woods, it really isn't all that hard to get back to Blackwood. Outside of our cabin is a faint dirt trail. It gets a little bit twisty at some parts, but isn't too confusing. It takes about 15 minutes to walk down, but maybe 10 if you're fast. At the end of the trail there's a fence, one with a slight gap in it, and past that fence there's a little community. It isn't big, a few trailers with a few people living all the way out here, far from anything that's, well, anything. But there's a road here and a bus that comes through. It runs through Blackwood, so whenever we need to leave, we take this bus. And then after the end of a short trip, you're in Blackwood. It's the city I grew up in, and I always really loved it. There's the library and the local stores, but my favorite place is the Blackwood Cemetery. Is that looks like the FNAF cemetery, just a tad bit. I've got lots of trees to read under and the prettiest headstones I've ever seen. There's a mausoleums too, though I've never been inside. Private mausoleum, you know. I don't know who it belongs to. Anyways, I always try to leave flowers when I visit, at least every so often. And I visit a lot. I like to think it helps them, you know. Now I feel lonely. And then after having spent my day in Blackwood, I came back home in the same way I left. But I always make sure no one sees the way I come back home, just in case, you know. Despite the recent events, I too leave the cabin more than ever now. Groven is rarely home and I don't like being there alone. I know I'm just being paranoid, but I don't like the thought that maybe the butcher could find me out here all alone, even if that's the whole reason I'm here in the first place. So I go out a lot now. I feel more comfortable surrounded by lots of people. Despite how many things may seem, I always prefer to be around people anyways. That's one reason why I like to go to the cemetery so often. There's always people here, even if you can't see them. Once I got out of bed, I made myself a small breakfast and got changed into my favorite outfit. Coven's gone, and the bus I take out of the town should be arriving any minute now. Where should I go today? Huh. Okay, so you can go to the library, the cafe, the cemetery. So I don't know how to get the endings, so I'm gonna just go through this. So I will just go to the cemetery. That's it's our favorite place. Now to my favorite place, the cemetery. Cemetery is pretty much the same block as my family's restaurant. Right next to it, in fact. All you have to do is cross the street, it's on the same side as the road. I think my parents chose this location because it's good for business. That's what mom told me anyways. People are usually hungry after a funeral. Crying really takes a lot of you, after all. I'm always glad to live there because I really love visiting the cemetery. I like to walk down the rows and see who got flowers that day. That's what I do most days. Sometimes I'll pick my own flowers just to leave on graves that look like they've been forgotten about. I'm actually quite known for the cemetery. Some people have even begun to use the nickname for me. though I don't know how many of them actually know what I look like. When I arrived at the cemetery gates, however, I was surprised to see Quoven standing there with what looked like a new friend. Quoven? Mary? Ugh, did you follow me? Huh? No, I didn't. You know, I always come here. Yeah, but that's usually not until later. Why are you here so early? I mean, it's not as if I had anything better to do. Oh, do you have to be here right now? Kinda on a date. Oh, this is a date? I mean, it can be if you want to be. Hmm, I'll think about it. This is Vasilis. I met him at the arcade. Yo, sorry, Mary, but can you please go? I really just don't have the energy for this right now. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to intrude. I'll see you later. Later. See you some other life, Mary. I left Croven alone. I didn't want to interrupt his little date or whatever. I especially didn't want to make him more mad at me. However, I wasn't going to let him stop me from going to the cemetery. I continued on past the gates and stepped aside. It seemed emptier than usual. It didn't look like any of the funerals were being held today. Would it mean of me to wish there was? Yeah, it probably would be. Forget I said anything like that. It was a really awful thing to say. When nighttime rolled around, I headed back home. I slipped into my pajamas and headed to bed almost immediately. Of course, though, I couldn't sleep right away. I had something I need to talk to first. Good evening again. Good evening. May I ask you something? You always do. How did you know my name was Mary? I've always known. Huh? I've always known what your name is. If we did, you probably wouldn't remember. If? So we did meet. Take the if as a maybe. We may have met before, but would it make any difference if you didn't remember me? It would be as if we were meeting for the first time. That's weird. I'm uncomfortable. Any updates on my parents? They are fine. Will I ever see them again? Yes, because I'm coming to get you too. I just need more time. Good night, Mary. Oh, well, that's unsettling. I went to sleep feeling pretty shaken that night. I tried not to think about it. I'm surprised I was able to get any sleep at all. Surprised I didn't have any nightmares either. Uncle Cross? Yeah, Mary? Uncle Cross, can I ask you a question? Sure thing, kiddo. Shoot. How do you lose your eye? Ah, Mary. That's not. It's fine. I don't mind. I lost my eye in the war. You were in war, Uncle Cross? I was. I won't get into the specifics of it, but it was important to me that I protect my family in any way I could. Do you miss it? My eyeball? Yeah. You know something? As much as I thought I would. I think I would miss you a lot more. After I got out of bed, I made myself a small breakfast and got changed into my favorite outfit. Okay, so I think this is where I'm gonna leave it for today. Um, so like I said, this is gonna be a pretty long series, so stay tuned for that. So if you like the video and want to see more, go ahead and subscribe, press the like button, and click the notification bell for future videos. I really love the game so far. It's really cute. It has a very intriguing storyline so far, and we will see where this goes. So, um, with that being said, have a good day, everyone.